There we go. We are live. What's going on, everybody? KSA Kris here, Real Estate Blitz, and we are coming on with another live show. Thank you all for jumping on. As you know, we're on a mission here at the Real Estate Blitz, and I want to personally thank all of you for continuing to support us on YouTube and Facebook. But let's get right into this. Today, I'm excited to have Paul Campbell on, and Paul's an investor. He's a broker, a team leader, all these amazing things, which I think is fantastic. We talk about a lot on the Real Estate Blitz at Core Group at ExP Realty, which is pretty cool. And I know we've had a couple people on from ExP, and I'm starting to become a huge fan because every time I talk to a winner, they're with ExP. So he's serving the Pacific Northwest, more specifically Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and surrounding areas, as well as Southwest Washington. And Paul has spent years in different aspects of real estate, from mortgage, realtor, broker owner, and investor. The last one is actually what I really want to talk about. I've gotten a ton of views, a ton of comments, and it seems like a lot of agents want to know more about real estate investing, but there's nobody that's really talking about it in the real estate agent space, whether it's on a podcast or anywhere else. So I thought this was an opportunity to kind of have Paul on and just specifically talk about, as a real estate agent, getting into real estate investing and what is real estate investing to him, because I have a very different view than most people that I end up talking to or running into that are agents. A lot of agents think real estate investing and being a real estate agent or a real estate broker are like two different planets. It's almost like trying to talk about Mars versus Venus or something else. And I personally think that's a little goofy. So I'm hoping Paul can help me out here and start realizing that when you talk about real estate is real estate. Whether you're investing in real estate, whether you're selling real estate or helping somebody buy and sell real estate, if you're giving advice on real estate, if you're doing mortgages in real estate, it doesn't matter. It's real estate. And just understanding that it's really about a commodity and building businesses and streams of income around that commodity. So that's just my opinion. So with that said, Paul, what's going on? Good to see you. I appreciate having you on. Real quick.
Man, I appreciate the invite. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I just thought it was really cool. We have a mutual friend reached out and said, "Hey, Paul Campbell wants to be on." I was like, right on. That's very, very cool. Because I know you're just a killer agent, and we're Facebook friends. I think that's it's always one of those things where it's so goofy to me that that dictates, even if you've never met somebody. So I just had a guy staying at my house for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks, never met him in person. Literally have talked to him on Facebook for like the last year or so. Lives in Japan, happened to be in the area, needed a place to stay. I'm like, sure, come on over. Fantastic visit. So you don't run into a lot of your Facebook friends in person, and sometimes you don't get to talk to them in person. So I appreciate having you on. And just real quick for everybody, if you can give a quick rundown of who you are, what you're about, and just tell us about Paul Campbell.
Man, I think you already did that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That sounded better than I could have done it. I don't know, man. A little bit about me. I've been in the real estate game for a pretty long time. Before I was licensed, which I believe was 2007, I was doing loans back when it was crazy. So I don't know anything about all this new stuff, but we were doing a bunch of short sales back then. The market was just starting to fold. It was there was blood in the water. It was interesting times. That's when we got started. We built up a small team within Keller Williams, and then myself and a partner that I met at Keller Williams, we opened our own real estate company.
Oh, right on.
Which is thriving today without me, because I decided to go another direction last year. So we had a mutually beneficial breakup. He's a great guy. I was running Stellar Realty out of Bend, Oregon, and he wants to focus on bringing in traditional real estate agents, and I want to focus on teams and teaching people how to invest and teaching people how to create wealth on a smaller scale. So that's, I guess, where we're at today.
So, I've had partners before, and I think for me personally, not to get lost on a tangent, but it's kind of like what I do. I don't know if I would ever do that again, just because I always felt like I was kind of stuck or restricted and having to ask permission to continue to move with how my mind is built. And it's built really funny. And I found that the individuals that are really successful in this business, like we have a mental illness of some sort. That's the best way I could put it. It's almost like I tell people sometimes I'm allergic to certain things because I literally have an immediate adverse reaction, like bad clients. I just get rid of them. If I talk to somebody and I go on a listing appointment, I'll tell you within 10, 15 minutes, I've done it. If I can realize, holy crap, you're a lot of energy and you're a horrible person, I just pack up my stuff and leave. I just don't do it anymore because I don't have to. Um, but that's kind of how I feel about business partners.
It's pretty efficient, actually.
Yeah, you know,
Good use of time. You only have so many
yeah,
hours in the day, right?
that's true. Now, I do like partnerships. I am a fan of partnerships, but
Well,
just not business partners, if that makes sense, you know?
I gotta tell you, man, it's just like a marriage, except for with money as the focus instead of whatever you got married for, which might have been money. Who knows?
Right.
Um,
Which gets hairy
but
sometimes, you know, and I think that's exactly what it is. When you start bringing in really good money with partnerships, and again, we're off topic, but that's okay. It starts getting hairy. At least for me, I just
it
found that,
will too, man.
yeah, you know, and I'm like, well, yeah, but I think we should be going this way. Yeah, but we're making this money here. Let's stay here. And it's like, okay. But
It's all about the right people, and we had a really long partnership. I think it was close to 7 years. It went really well. I'd still consider him a friend. And he gave me a lot of freedom to act like a crazy person. And I respected his opinions and his ability to rein me in. So, I mean,
do you
without going too
think
far down that rabbit hole, it was a great experience.
so? I don't know. It sounds like you might agree with me, but I think people that are top producers, I don't want to use the word crazy because I think
Nah, it's a whole different mindset. It's
it is.
different.
It's a mindset thing, but like I said, it's almost like a mental illness because it's like I get so hyper focused, and everybody that I've met, like you get into this thing, it's like that's the direction, let's go, and they just take off running.
Well, I would change the word high producer to entrepreneur because, high producer is, I don't know, more sales focused. But
I like
and
that.
the entrepreneurial concept in general, I think you have to have a special sort of person to be around those people without thinking they're absolutely batshit crazy. Sorry,
Oh,
I'm
no
not
doubt.
supposed to say that.
Here's again, big reason we were talking about this before we jumped on. The big reason why I got off of live radio is because I hate FCC laws and regulations and sponsors. So I get to do this, and we can say whatever we want. So if you want to cuss
Perfect.
away.
Well,
So
let's
let's
go with it.
we'll minimize it. Let's get right into this because there's a lot I want to talk about, and I know you have a limited amount of time, and I actually have 2 listing appointments right after this
Nice.
video. So I really want to dig into this. I just think it's really important that, and I know a lot of agents are going to get a lot from this. I have a lot of great followers, and they've asked me to do more content just on this topic. So, real quick, how did you get your starts? You mentioned how you got your start in real estate, but that's really what I view as being a real estate agent. Like as far as real estate investing, how did you get your start in real estate investing specifically?
Well, I started negotiating short sales with the intention of buying them. That's how I got started before I was licensed.
So
And
when you're
had an
trying to buy
investor.
them, did you get training before that, or is it just something that you were sort of chasing and figuring out as you went?
No, it was a man. Everything in my life is like a fluke from the heavens. Like you get pointed in the right direction, and that's where you go.
Right.
No, we just I was in mortgage, and we had an over leveraged second, and I was like, well, let me see if I can get up to take less money. I didn't go to a seminar, I didn't do any of that, and we just kind of pieced through it. And this was Wild West; they didn't have the same processes and procedures anymore. So
Right.
started figuring it out, started identifying a process, and then the thing is, you got to jump in the game before you get opportunities to continue to educate yourself. If you do that first, then opportunities will start popping up everywhere. Like
Right.
so, since people heard that I was doing short sales, then other experts across the country would reach out. We'd be able to have communication that way. We could look to see what each other was doing. We could learn from each other, and that kind of grew organically.
Right.
And then a friend of mine here, the number one short sale guy, Nick Shivers, we chatted up a lot. We'd figure out what we were both doing right and wrong, and and the rest is history. And then after
Yeah.
that, we got into REO stuff with banks because we started meeting asset managers, and you'd come across these REOs that were just like bulldozer material. But I was like, wait a minute, there's still value in this, even when the market was declining.
Right.
So we started wholesaling some of those REO contracts to guys with cash, and then we get 2 listings out of it instead of one because
Right.
we sold to them from the REO side, and the REO guys were happy because they got cash and they had no BS, and the investors put some money in it, flipped it on the quick, and then we got another listing on that. So we started doing that quite a bit. And then we build up a little bit of money, meet new investors, and we start taking down 1 or 2 ourselves, and there you have it.
Right on, man. I think that's really cool. I think I was blessed because I was working part time for a guy as a painter, and he was the one that started teaching me the business. And then, I think people now they either are trying to buy into seminars or programs, or I always recommend you should be going out and trying to find a real estate investor association or group in your local area and just spend some time. But I think you hit it right on the head. It literally reminded me when I started getting into spec building and I started getting into commercial deals. I have a buddy of mine who's this just big burly Russian dude, and he drives this beater, disgusting looking minivan, and the guy is just loaded, right? But it always has a new dent or something on it every time I see him. And I was like, how do I get into commercial? He says, Kris, you get into it, you lose some money, you figure it out, you make a lot of money. And it's funny because when he told me that, and this was years ago, I'm like, well, that's stupid. But it kind of is. You have to you just kind of got to get into it. There are ways but you have to get into it. Otherwise you get no opportunity. You don't grow.
Nobody's going to teach you how to swim if you don't jump in the water.
That's right. That's right. I absolutely agree. So now with you at EXP, broker owner, team lead, everything else like that, agent as well, are you using real estate investing as a supplement, or to supplement your income, or is that still like a big portion of your business?
No, I'll tell you, this is probably one of the biggest mistakes I've made in the last 10 years. I think investors think they're better than realtors. I think realtors think they're better than investors. Everybody thinks they're better than everybody.
Right.
And so when I was working as an agent, I was like, but I'm an investor primarily, and I do this agent stuff because I like working with my team and growing the company, but really I'm an investor. Okay, it's the same thing. Like, you're in real estate, whether you're investing in your license to go do real estate or whether you're investing in the house, it's still real estate investing. It's just real estate's a commodity.
Yep.
And the mistake that I made was I kept those things separate because I was afraid of things like liability and people judging the real estate company over an investment deal or vice versa. And the truth is, there are millions of ethical and smart win-win transactions that you get put in front of as an agent. Yep. And we've learned over the last year how to lead with the real estate agency versus trying to keep that separate, and just give everybody the opportunity to choose what's best for them and their family, which is also a lot of fun because it's an easy conversation and you get to truly help people, and you go home at night, you feel great about yourself, and you can monetize it several different ways. I think we were talking earlier, if you get a house that's just fallen down, you can buy it from them. You can teach them how to renovate it. You can provide them with renovation funds. You can list it and cross your fingers, but whatever works for that client. We've had so many different scenarios now that we've at least started asking the right questions that actually really ended up helping other people. Right. Just had a great one not too long ago where it was a probate deal, and the people that inherited it, they couldn't afford the probate. So we found a loophole with something called a limited asset probate or something. I don't even remember what the exact term was. Right. We got it to go through. We found the one title company in town that would actually close that deal with that type of probate transaction. Anyway, we went above and beyond, but everybody made more money. He didn't have to shell out 12 G's to an attorney. And, he's just as happy as could possibly be. He didn't even have to touch the house.
I think, by having an investment arm or an investment knowledge base, you're really you're able to provide a better quality of service and options and opportunities, and in the process end up making more money. Because, at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer personally, what a real estate agent really should be or is a problem solver. You're a problem solver. People come to us with problems all the time. And whether they're starting a new chapter of their life, whether somebody's sick, there's bad problems. Sometimes there's good problems. They come up on some money. We're problem solvers. We're there to try to find a way to help them deal with major assets.
The trick is monetizing all the ways that those problems can be solved.
Yep.
Because then you don't pigeonhole yourself, and you're not unintentionally or intentionally trying to shove somebody into the wrong hole. And I think that if we only have the buy and the sell in our toolbox, then that's what we're going for. It's like asking a roofer if you need a roof, or asking a knee surgery guy if you need a knee surgery. They always say yes. They don't mean to do it, but that's just what they do. My whole philosophy for this coming year is to look at this like a professional services consult type company. We're going to come in, and we have the knowledge, the history, and the experience to show you everything that you need to know about every direction that you could possibly take this. We're going to give you our advice, and we're going to let you pick whatever does well and right by you and your family. And it's just fun. It's awesome.
I like that. That's pretty awesome. Man, and we'll probably I want to go back to that, just because I think there's a lot there. So whoever, if you're listening to this or watching this later, if you didn't sit down and just write notes and you didn't hear some of the in-betweens of that, you need to go back and listen to it again, because you're literally, what you were just talking about is finding every potential possible angle for any client that you might run into in order to monetize. Because I've seen agents walk in, it's like, well, the house is a dumpster fire, and they want more than it's worth. Okay, well, then let's come up with a solution.
Great.
Well, here's, we could renovate it to get it sold. We could do this. We could do that. I just did an appointment out in Paris on New Year's. It was New Year's, and showed up. The guy was looking for a cash deal. I said, actually, this is where we sit. So being able to provide multiple options is huge. And I know we do that. We show up to every appointment with a minimum of 3 options. We can buy it in cash, we can renovate it to get it sold, or we can sell it in its as-is condition. And, some of them, I just picked up one in Escondido. It's already renovated beyond what it needs to be. So when I started asking him more questions, what I found out was he had a motivation. He wanted to sell this house in order to downsize, move to Arizona, to have a specific amount of cash to purchase, and then have enough money to where he can start traveling. Okay, well, we can't renovate it anymore. Now I understand what your need is. Well, how about we sell it this way? Why don't we do it this way? And he was excited. He's like, yeah, where do I sign? But I don't think enough agents, they really get stuck on just traditional real estate in their mind. To me, it's a mindset. Traditional.
Well, it's also fear-based. Like I know the fear caught me, because I was like, well, what about the liability? What about fiduciary responsibility? What about this? What about that? And the truth is, there's an ethical way to do all of these things.
We do all of our stuff on car forms. We do.
Absolutely.
We do all of it on car forms. We make sure everything is put out there. Even if we're doing a wholesale, we do it on car forms. We make sure that, hey, this is, you understand that if we look to purchase, we can and have the opportunity and ability to actually assign this contract to somebody else. This is what an assignment means. What we agree upon is what you're going to get at close of escrow, and that's our deal between us. Whatever I do with the property, I need you to understand, I'm looking to make a profit. That's my job. I need to take care. I have a family. I can't work for you for free. Would you want me to work for you for free? Would you work for somebody for free? No, you wouldn't. Do you think the bagger at Albertsons works for free? No, but they do it with a smile. I'm just a very well-paid bagger. Okay, I'm providing a service. I need to make a profit. And what you get is what you get, and however I make a profit is my business, not your business, my business. And it works out really well.
Opportunities, like the options. That's where I think that my eyes just opened wide and the songs came down from the heavens, because I was like, wait a minute, like, let's just do what's best for them and figure out which one it is and make money off of it.
Right. So have you been doing what type, because this is where it gets tricky for a lot of people that don't know investing or investors, and they're trying to learn. They start getting lost on, when they start reading, they see, holy crap, okay, there's wholesaling, there's wholetailing, there's buy and holds, there's flipping, there's just so many different angles, and then they get lost, and they may even try all of them, like walking around and trying random types of cakes, and then they get sick and they don't know why. So
I'll give you a spin.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
Oh, no, go on.
Well, here's a crazy spin that we just discovered. So a friend of mine, Frank Klesitz, he's the CEO of Viral Marketing. He just put together this great class on basically how to monetize you can't say preferred, but local vendor relationships. So even if you don't own a landscaping company or whatever, you can still create relationships to monetize that. Mm-hmm. And just by the nature of your real estate business. I mean, what do they say in the National Association of Realtors? Like, every single transaction creates like $5,000 to $8,000 of random side business. Somebody's making money. Get your hands in that. Frank can teach you how. I just went through the class and it was incredible. It was step by step. It was fantastic. And for the number one complaint I get when I tell agents about investing is, well, I don't have $300,000 to go buy a bunch of houses. But if you're an agent and you want to learn how to monetize, just get started monetizing relationships, that's a great place to start.
Yeah, cool.
You don't have to have any money for that. Frank Klesitz, the Viral Marketing, I think he calls it the Brand Ambassador class. I can definitely shoot you a link offline too.
Yeah, shoot me a link and then I'll get that on there. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I try to leverage everything. one way or another in every possible opportunity. I think we talked a little bit offline about this a minute ago. Like I'm starting up the Temecula Valley Real Estate Investment Club because I want more opportunities, and that's how I'm going to get them. So you should always be trying to find an angle. But I think what I was getting ready to get at is what kind of investing did you start with, and what kind of investing are you focused on right now? Because I know I personally, I'm very niche. I believe niches make riches with investing. So I stick to like 2 or 3 things. Granted, my real estate business, I give multiple options, but for me personally, when I invest, I'm only in a couple things. So what do you do? Well, like, what's your niche?
Oh, that's funny. I should be more niche focused. I really should, but I'm too much of an ADD crazy person. So it's funny. This timing is fortuitous. We're actually rolling out a huge investor specific program that I'm not even allowed to get into details on at the end of the month. So we're going to start doing a bunch of classes for consumers and real estate agents on 2 very specific types of investing that are off the chain, not normal, but and that will lead into other conversations. Primarily, we, fix and flip. We do the rehab stuff. I just learned last year about, rental properties in other states.
Yep.
I was like, wait a minute. I was so focused on Portland that I just forgot that we live in like this whole giant country, and you can actually buy rentals that cash flow in several other states. So
there's a lot of states, whether it's rentals and even mobile home parks, mobile home flipping. There's so many different angles. I did mobile home flipping for a while. I loved it, but yeah, it's mind blowing. And so you're both mostly focused in fix and flips. Like for me, I like quick chunk money. I do a mix of fix and flip, and I do wholesale wholetails. I like wholesale wholetails because we picked up one house. I think we picked it up on wholesale for $500,000. I didn't even suite the thing out. I put a sign out front and I put it back on the market for like $7. I think it was more. It's like 570 or 580. I just put a sign out front. I didn't even clean the damn house. I just sold it as is and got the total value, the true value of the home. So that's wholesaling. Wholesaling, if I have extra properties or I just don't have time or I don't want to, the margins are good for me, I'll just offload it for 10, 20. The one that I just picked up recently, we picked it up for 650. ARV on it is 940, Kim. The one we just picked up at 650. 949, so it's 949. It needs 110,000 worth of work. I'll make probably 30, 40 grand off that. And I'm just gonna flip the paper. We do it all on car forms. We ensure that they understand that we have the right and the ability to assign the contract. If we do, this is how it's going to be done. This is where I'm going to take. So then I get my elevator speech. We're going to buy your house in cash. We're going to take it in its as-is condition. We're going to close on the day of your choosing. Blah blah blah. What we agree upon is exactly what you're going to get. I'm going to cover all the closing costs, and we just roll right through it. So that's kind of my 3 basic niches that I'm into, but that also built easily into our real estate business, because I can basically offer now, we'll buy your house in cash. So there's a lot of properties. I got this idea off of Michael Quarles. He told me one day, I was on the phone with him. He says, people that have expired listings, they want to sell their house, right? And I was like, yeah. How many of them probably want to sell their house for cash? Probably a lot. And we actually started making that like our voicemail and a few other things. You would blow your mind. People calling saying, hey, I want you to buy my house in cash. Well, here's the thing. It may not be worth what it is in cash. And then I go through my whole pitch on, I want to see if they're willing. Okay, can you do better than that? Yeah. Can you go lower? Considering I'm going to take it as this condition, bare bones, blah, blah, blah. Oh, so they keep moving? Great, let's set an appointment. When I come to the appointment, I'm going to show you these 3 options. And if I show up and it's not worth buying it in cash, you just say, look, it's just too much. I can't buy it in cash. But let me tell you what we can do differently for you. If we put it on the open market to get you the most money in the shortest amount of time, blah, blah. And then I get a whole pitch. But most guys are sitting there running through the same damn scripts that they found online, probably YouTube, for picking up an expired listing.
No, we do the same thing. It's both. If we get a call about a cash buy, same thing. If we get a call about a listing, we always present a cash offer. The whole 9 yards. That's the beauty of it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
And we kind of wholesale. We have I guess we just call it easy sell. We have a program where we have some investors already lined up. So if it meets some underwriting criteria, we ship it off to them. We do transactional. So we take a piece on the front, we take a piece on the back. They get the upside. And then, we also have some lenders and some cash of if an easier deal comes along that's cosmetic or whatnot, we'll probably jump onto that. But we're focusing on volume and just trying to reach as many people with this program as we can in 2019.
That's awesome. And when you get your other program that you're talking about off the ground, hit me up. If you'd like to
I
talk
will.
about it, I'd love
I
to hear
will.
about it and see what you all
Yeah, I'll
have.
tell you
And
all about it.
yeah, maybe even do another quick interview and just dump it out there, see if somebody is like, yeah, that's freaking cool. I want to hear about it. So real quick, for the agents that are probably watching this and listening to it, and honestly, I have a lot of mortgage people that watch and listen too. If you were
I'm
to give
married to a mortgage person.
yeah. But if you were to give advice to an agent that wants to get into real estate investing or actually explore real estate investing, what would you say they should do in order to get started?
Oh, lead with the deal. Like if there's a deal, then there's money. Don't use money as an excuse. Don't use logistics as an excuse. Find a deal. If you're a real estate agent, you understand what values are. You understand what your market is. If you see something that looks like somebody could monetize it, then identify your market and pitch the deal, and somebody will fund it or somebody will buy it.
That's the truth.
And the only reason they won't is if the deal sucks, and then you were wrong, and find a better deal.
And it's true. If you got a deal, you can sell it. You can find a way to make a profit on it. And I think it's always, always, always about finding and getting the deal first. And I think what's unique and interesting about that is if you can find off-market deals and you can find motivated sellers that need to sell their houses, you're going to also extremely and quickly increase your traditional real estate business as well. And that's why we really focus on that, at least for us. So, I mean,
so many listings.
Oh yeah. So who are you listening to right now, at least on the investor side? I mean, do you listen to any podcasts or are you watching anybody online when it comes to real estate investing specifically?
No, not specifically. I don't do a lot of specific training classes. I mean, I do blogs and podcasts and, talk to guys like you. Because you already gave me an idea. You had a nice twist on the renovation program that you were talking about.
Right on.
That's something that we're not really aggressively pursuing. So, I mean, just by talking to guys in the space, that's always kind of been my thing. I love masterminds. I just eat that stuff up. I live on the concept. If you're the smartest guy in the room, then you're in the wrong room. Go challenge yourself. So I'll try and stick myself in a room with some guys that are doing, way more than I've ever done. And I just listen to them talk. The magic is to sit there and shut up and you'll pick up a few gems.
Right. Unless you're a narcissist.
Unless you're a narcissist. So, I've been fortunate to be in the room with some pretty great guys. The name that keeps coming to mind right now, even though you probably won't remember me, is David Green, I think is his last name. Mm-hmm. He's up in Sacramento-ish area, Bay Area, and he's got a great book out about investing out of state. I wish I could remember the name and give him a proper plug, but I can't. I'll send it to you later.
Yeah, if you get it, send it to me. I'll pop it in there for sure. And who knows, maybe even reach out to him, because I think, especially for those like me, I'm out in California. I got to wait for the market to crash to really make the kind of spreads that I want, which is why most of the California stuff that I have, unless there's a minimum gross of 150,000, I personally won't screw with it. I'll just wholesale it. It just doesn't make sense out here. Exactly. Oh my God. It's the to me, it's the cash on cash return, as opposed to if I'm in Texas or if I'm in Florida or if I'm in where's the other one that Kansas, different areas of Kansas. It used to be Atlanta. Atlanta used to be the hot spot. I mean, there's a lot of cool places that you could be. It's a process to invest out of state, but once you figure it out, the cash on cash return makes great sense.
Well, just being in the room with some other guys, speaking in Texas, a friend of mine who might be a little annoyed at me today, but he's a great guy. His name is Aaron Amuchastegui. I think he owns over 1,000 rental properties.
Wow.
He's got this great software that he's, I think, betaing, or it might be released out to the public, where a couple clicks of a button, you can get a list of everybody that's in distress and get their phone numbers for a small fee, and et cetera. Even kick out a voicemail message to them, one of those slide dial things.
Yeah.
I'm learning all this stuff, man, but just putting yourself in those rooms with guys like that, you can't help but learn something.
That actually would be a hell of a freaking tool. I know Kent Clothier has a product out that's basically for basically trying to chase down abandoned homes or homes where, people don't physically live there or they aren't receiving. Because the fact is, if people aren't able to get a hold of somebody that could potentially be in distress, then you're trying to tap a market where they're not able to find these people or chase them down. And
Well, that
yeah,
thing's
so
called padlock.com. But if you're in my market, don't listen.
that's cool.
Jokes. Or come work for us. I'll show you how to work it and make
Yeah,
a bunch of money.
I'll help you plug it all in. Yep. I actually had somebody ask me, hey, how do you do this? It says, hey, come join the team. I'll let you know all about it. Oh, well, you're
Yeah,
going to hold
absolutely.
information?
I love
Certain
teaching
things, yeah.
people all this. It's so much fun because not to be one of those guys, but that's one of the reasons why we did the EXP thing. Is because, like you said, man, there's not a lot of different ways that you can make residual money or really protect your family long term or create retirement wealth in real estate. It's very transactional, and you got to learn these things.
Right.
And with the stock and the rev share at EXP, plus the investing that we teach, plus your buying and selling, your normal real estate stuff, I feel like we've got 5 or 6 ways that we can create revenue for our people. And
Right.
that's really why I wake up in the morning when it's all said and done is, we're all in this business super lucky because, we get to work as hard as we want to work and our income potential is close to unlimited.
Hmm.
All we have to do is learn a few things. You can work 10 times harder than how we work at Albertsons or Starbucks and not even come close to the life that we get to lead in real estate. So it's been very good to me and I love paying it forward.
Oh yeah, right on, man. I appreciate it. That's good information. I think, I've interviewed a few EXP agents now, and I remember in the beginning, I had people reaching out to me on YouTube, and they're like, well, talk about EXP, talk about this, talk about, and I'm like, I don't know anything about EXP. I haven't experienced EXP. I'm not with EXP. I only talk to stuff that I know
Sure.
on the Real Estate Blitz. And then Kyle Whistle hit me up, and then David Serpa, and people like you.
Yeah.
And I think my biggest concern with EXP was initially off of my ignorance. It starts with my ignorance, right?
Oh, me
Off of
too. I
my
went through the
ignorance.
whole process, man.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like, yeah, I could tell you the whole mental cycle I went through. It was pretty
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And, I just found that everybody that was reaching out to me, they were non-producing individuals that were trying to build out a pipeline. And that bothered me.
Yeah.
Then I started realizing everybody that I really respected as an agent that is a powerhouse, they're making a transition. And there's a reason for it. Again, I still am very ignorant. I really try not to talk about because I'm not in XP. But
No,
I
yeah.
love interviewing people that are at EXP because from what I hear from the people that I respect, it makes great sense. And so I think that's really cool that you brought that up, and just being able to look at, again, I see it over and over and over. You can have an agent that will have a great month, maybe have a great 6 months, hell, even have a great year. But then when they
Mhm.
have a bad month or a bad few months, they're screwed. So being able to have multiple streams of income, whether it's investing, whether it's profit share, whatever that is, I think that's extremely important. And I think all agents should be looking at multiple streams of income because we
Yeah.
can make such a large amount of money at any given time. One of the guys on my team, Adam, I met him at the gym. He was a personal trainer. He was my personal trainer. He was making on his best year. He's like, I killed it. I smashed it. He made $28,000. This guy now typically makes anywhere from $60,000 to $100,000 a month. And that's fantastic. I think that's freaking great.
Legacy, man. Take care of your family, take care of your kids, take care of other people. That's stuff you can't do.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start buttoning this up. And like I said, I think I was going to do a really, really long interview, but I don't want to waste your time too much because I want to have you back on. I'm excited to find out what
All
this thing
good. I
is that
teased
you're
it
going to
right.
do. Yep, you
You're gonna
teased it
love
just
it. You're
right.
gonna love it.
So when you're ready, you hit me back up. I'm going to have you on, and then we will talk specifically just about that because I like tools. I think it's important that you need to know how to work on an engine, but you aren't going to do it without a screwdriver. You got to have tools. And I love leveraging tools in order to make this real estate machine, run smoothly and efficiently. Just my opinion. So the last question I ask everybody, number one recommendation right now for real estate agents that you would give to absolutely kill it and have the best year that they've ever had in real estate.
Number one recommendation. Man, I was thinking about this. That's a tough one for me because there's just so many little things. I mean, it really just comes down to effort. don't let fear be your guiding voice, because there's so many times during the course of an average real estate agent's day where fear comes into play. Picking up the phone, knocking on a door, like these are things that we're not naturally super stoked about going and doing.
Right.
But stop letting fear be your dictator, and focus on your why you're doing it, why you're out there in the first place. And on top of that, just read a book. Grab a book every month and read it, and I think those two things will set you apart.
Right on. Awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. I think the book one for me, especially, I went from reading like one book maybe every 6 months to where I'm trying to read 3 a month right now. And it's changing everything for me. It's like becoming the keystone habit of my life. So I'm glad you brought that up too.
Or
And
hit up Frank It Viral and take that class, because that one's money too. That'll work.
yeah, I always sit down and I take notes, and I'll end up watching this video again because, I do it on Facebook Live. And it's because it's an easy platform for me to interview people. I think it looks clean, but then I strip it off of here and I start putting it freaking everywhere. So in the process, I end up like watching and listening the whole video again, and I write down all these notes, and then I actually go and check out all these products myself. I've done a lot of videos on a lot of products that I've tried out from interviewing people and saying, look, this thing is freaking awesome. Here's what I got from it. Here's the returns I got from it. So yeah, I'm planning on checking it out for sure. At least for me personally.
If you need
And then,
info or an introduction, just give me a holler, man. I'd love to hook you guys up.
that'd be cool, man. Thank you so much. And if people want to get a hold of you, so I'm assuming
I don't
out
get
in
paid
your
for
area.
that, by the way. I just love the guy.
What's
It'll
that?
help you out. I said I don't get paid for that, by the way. I just love the guy.
Oh, right on. Well, I don't get paid for this, so I just love doing
Yeah,
it.
perfect.
So if somebody wants to reach out, because again, we're in business. I know I've gotten a ton of referrals off the Real Estate Blitz, people that are watching, and somebody's moving out to California, they hit me up. If somebody's coming out to the Oregon area, how can they get a hold of you if they want to send you a referral, buy, sell, or even reach out to just ask you about some of the other stuff that you have going on?
Done, man. So email, pretty great. Just my email is Paul C Paulc at coregrouppdx.com. I got the Facebook Messenger going, so if you find me on Facebook, I'm always there. I got my staff checking that out every now and again too. Those are probably the best ways. I mean, phone number, shoot, but I probably won't call you back for like 4 days.
Because we're working.
Yeah. Shoot me a text or something, I can get back to you. That's 503-307-0769.
Right on, man. Hey, thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. I think this is going to be really good information. I want to do more of this. I'd like to find more agents that really focus or have a focus in real estate investing, so I could prove to other agents that you can do it too. You can do it too. You can get it, I know, exactly. Right on. Yeah, and if you're in the area, if you're in that area, it sounds like so you're bringing on agents, right? Out there in Oregon.
Absolutely.
Okay, if you're looking for a home, hit up Paul Campbell. If you're in that area, you're looking for a home. I'm going to put in the show notes for everybody, and I'll just go back through it one more time. But in the show notes, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows. So we're talking about the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Portland, Oregon, surrounding areas, and Southwest Washington, right?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Okay. Hey, thank you everybody for watching Real Estate Blitz. I appreciate it. If you're listening to the Real Estate Blitz, thanks for listening. Do me a favor, like, share, comment. It's really important to me. And I get phone calls all the time. I get text messages all the time. I get PMs all the time. I get comments all the time on YouTube. If this is of value to you, it could be value to somebody else. I don't make any money off of this. I'm not a paid guru or anything like that. I'm creating this to help more agents because, in my opinion, the different companies that want to take our business, not saying they're bad, just saying I don't want them to take my livelihood. I don't want Purple Brick to take my business. I don't want Redfin to take my business. I don't want Zillow to take my business. In order to not let them take our business, we have to become better real estate agents. We have to provide more value. We have to provide a better service. We have to stop stiffing people for a whole lot of freaking commission. And all you did was take some shitty photos with your camera phone. People. Okay, so that's why I started the Real Estate Blitz. Again, I'm not being paid for this. I'm just trying to help the industry because I love doing this. I love doing this. That's why I have people on like Paul. Okay, so I can give more so you can give more. Get out there and earn your commission. Kill it. Kill it. It's 2019 official. It's the 3rd. Get out there and do great things this year, but bring value. And if you know somebody that could add or use something like this because it's value to you, like, share, comment. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm going to ask for. Just like, share, and comment. But outside of that, do me a favor, keep watching. Every week, I always do a live interview. Just about every day, I do some type of video of myself, and we just started a whole different series for the buy sell series that you can copy. Listen, copy it. Buy sell series, copy it. Make your own YouTube channel for all of your clients. Say, yeah, I have 300 videos teaching people how to buy and sell. Leverage. You can copy me. Steal it. I don't care. That's all I got. Appreciate y'all. Paul, say bye.
Man, that was awesome. Thanks for the time, man. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. I can talk to you for hours.
And if you stay on for 2 seconds, once I end this, we will just be able to chat real quick too. So, hey, everybody, appreciate you. KSA Kris, Real Estate Blitz. I'm out. All right. Bye.